RC number 63 of our free practice course, VARC 100. If you are new to this channel, you can sign up for this free course on our portal. You can write the test, a mini test, 10-minute test on our portal, the link to which is available in the description box of this video. Please watch this explanation video only after you write the test yourself. It will be much more beneficial than watching it without writing the test. Let's begin. RC number 63. So in the first paragraph, the author tells us that the ratio of women directors with respect to male directors remains low, but the pressure to recruit them exists. Second paragraph, author tells us a little history about the large corporations, and he tells us that the chairman of big companies began to recruit women directors from notable fields such as education, social services, public services, etc. Because the number of women CEOs and senior managers was low at that time. So they could not hire women directors from that pool of women. They went outside the business field and they started hiring women directors from outside the field. And these women, third paragraph says, are especially fit for the role of women directors because today's organizations are also required to be socially responsible. The needs of an organization are different, and these women can lead the organizations in that direction. Okay. Finally, last paragraph absurdly gives us an example of one such organization of women directors, which is spreading corporate awareness about the social issues that they need to address. And the organization also serves as a resource pool for women directors, for potential women directors. Okay. First question. The author of the passage will be most likely to agree with which of the following statements about achievement of the ideal mentioned in line number 14. The line could vary depending upon whether you see it here in the PPT or you saw it on the test. What is the ideal? By the way, second paragraph mentioned an ideal here. Now, author says women CEOs are still rare. In addition, the ideal of 6 CEOs, female or male, serving on the board of each of the largest corporations is realizable only if every CEO serves on 6 boards. So basically, there's so much shortage that there's an ideal number of CEOs, which is 6, that should serve the board of every large corporation. But that is not possible. That is possible only if every CEO serves 6 corporations, serves on the board of 6 corporations. So that is the kind of shortage we have. Okay. This raises the if this ideal is realized, it raises the specter, the fear of director overcommitment. Of course, they will be engaged in 6 different companies, and the resultant dilution of contribution. So they will not be able to contribute to the growth of such organizations. Overcommitment will dilute their contribution. Okay. So author will agree about this ideal. Option A, it has only recently become a possibility, alien idea. Author has never mentioned that it has become a possibility now. In fact, he says that even today, this ideal is very hard to realize because there is so much shortage, dearth of directors, dearth of CEOs. It would be easier to meet, the ideal would be easier to meet if more CEOs were women. Author says male or female. We need 6 CEOs in the board of directors, serving on the board of directors. 6 CEOs, male or female. So even if there were more CEOs, more women CEOs, we don't know whether it would become easier to realize this ideal, because overall we need more CEOs, not just more women CEOs, but overall the number should increase. So B is insufficient in the sense that it only talks about one variable, women CEOs. It does not talk about the other variable, male CEOs. And their cumulative number should be more. Then it would be easier to realize this ideal. It is very close to being a reality. Again, contradictory to what the passage mentions. It's far off from becoming a reality. This ideal might affect the quality of director's service to corporations. Option D is the correct answer from this line. Director overcommitment and dilution of their contribution, which means if their contribution will be diluted, it means that their service to the corporations will not be as good as it could be. It will affect the quality, the nature of their service. D is the correct answer. All of the following are examples of the issues that the organization described in the last paragraph would be likely to advise the corporations on, except. Okay, what are the issues that this organization advises on? It advises on social issues such as problems with the economy, government laws, the demographics, aging population, and the environment. These are the four topics mentioned on which this organization advises the corporations. Okay, long-term inflation, part of economy, an economic problem. So yes, the organization is likely to advise corporations on this particular problem, not the answer. Health and safety regulations. Government regulation was one part mentioned explicitly. So health and safety comes under that. Okay. Energy shortage. What is energy shortage? Okay. Energy as in fossil fuels or energy shortage, which would mean environment. Environmental issues. Environmental issues, maybe, maybe not. If we view energy shortage as a problem concerning environment, or concerning maybe concerning economy also to some extent, then it may be one of the issues that the organization advises companies on. But we are not very sure because we are extending some logic. Let's check the fourth option. Emerging product trends. Is it part of economy? No. Trends is not part of economic problems. Specifically, it mentions that the organization advises on problems with the economy. Emerging product trends are not a problem with the economy. Okay. So goes out. Not an economic problem as such. But of course, if there's a shortage of energy, it would be an economic problem. Right. So C is anyway better than D. It's more specific to the nature of the problems mentioned in the passage. Emerging product trends is not one of them. Is it a government regulation? No. Is it part of aging population? No. Is it part of environment? No. As far as we are talking about natural environment, it's not part of that environment. Business environment maybe yes, but clearly environment here means natural environment. So option D should be the answer. Others, the organization is likely to advise the corporations on. Third, can be inferred from the passage that when seeking to appoint new members to a corporation's board, the chair traditionally looked for candidates who were what? Okay. Mentioned here. The fact that the women from these sectors who were appointed were often acquaintances of the board's chairs. So they preferred known candidates, familiar candidates, acquaintances. Why? Because they've always considered it important for directors to communicate, interact comfortably in the boardroom. So if they're acquainted, the communication will be easy. That is why. Okay, so they look for candidates who had legal and government experience, alien. Had experience dealing with community affairs, alien. They could work easily with other members of the board. Yes, interaction in the boardroom, which means could work easily with other members of the board. So this can be inferred from the sentence we just read here. Interact comfortably with the boardroom. And in other words, work comfortably with the boardroom, with other members of the board. They had influential connections outside the business world. Influential connections, no. They were notable in other fields, in fields outside the business world. They were notable. Did they had network connections? We don't know. They had achieved something in fields, but were they well networked? We don't know. It's alien idea. Passage suggests that the corporations of the past differ from the modern corporations in which of the following case. Now, modern corporations, it was written that although the today a company's ability to be responsive to the concerns of the community and the environment can influence that company's growth and survival. So this is the condition today. A company today has to be socially and environmentally responsible because that can affect its growth and survival. This is mentioned. Okay. So this is the difference between, if this is specifically mentioned about today, what can we infer? that probably this is the changed scenario. That is why specifically about today it is mentioned, which means the past was different. Okay. Corporations had greater input on government policies affecting the business community, alien idea. Corporations were less responsive to the financial needs, no, to the social needs and the environmental needs, and that too of community and not of their employees. So, twisted fact. The ability of a corporation to keep up with the changing markets, alien idea, not a variable. To keep up with the changing market trends, no. Corporations' effectiveness in coping with community needs was less likely earlier in the past. It was less likely to affect its growth and prosperity. Correct, can be inferred. Today it is important, and that is why he mentions that the nature has changed. From this particular word, we can infer that in the past it was not so. Okay, therefore it was not likely to affect its growth and prosperity. Last question. Which of the following best describes the organization of the passage? Option A problem is described. Okay, what is the problem? What could be the problem? Possibly. Low number of women directors could be the problem. Okay. And then reasons why various proposed solutions have failed are discussed. Have they failed? Have they succeeded? Does the author discuss the reasons why various solutions have failed? As a matter of fact, author never mentions various solutions. There was only one solution: hiring women directors from outside the business world. Only one solution, and it has succeeded to some extent. But author does not mention various proposed. So maybe not the best option I'm looking for. Let's keep it in doubt. Let's look for a better option. Problem is described. Okay, same. And then an advantage of resolving it is offered. What is the advantage of resolving it? Is it mentioned? Now, it was mentioned that here, although many successful women from outside the business world are unknown to the corporate leaders, these women are particularly qualified to serve on boards because of the changing nature of corporations. So, this is an advantage of hiring them. So, a problem is described and an advantage of resolving this problem is offered. What is the advantage? If you hire women directors today, low number of women directors is the problem. If you hire women directors today, then there's an advantage for your organization because today's organization has to be socially responsible and women are better positioned that way. Women who have achieved in various social domains are better equipped with that. So that is the advantage of hiring them. Option B could be the correct answer. Problem is described, okay. Then reasons for its continuing existence are summarized. Actually, the problem does not persist. It has been resolved to some extent. The large corporations have started hiring women from outside. Therefore, author does not really talk about the continued existence of the problem. Rather, it talks about the resolution of the problem. Benefits of resolving the problem. Rather than its persistence, the tone changes here. Negative tone goes out. The historical origins of a problem. Does the author talk about why, historically speaking, why the number of women directors is low? Historically speaking, no. Author simply mentions the problem, does not go into the origin or the history of that problem, right? Also, the problem is not successfully resolved yet. It has only begun to be resolved. People have started resolving. And author offers an advantage of resolving it sooner rather than later. So D, this part is alien as well, or I should say extreme. Okay. Hope you enjoyed the passage. Nice questions, moderate level passage. Until next time, bye bye. All the best for your preparation.